Alright, so on your left you have the Galaxy S8 Plus with 6GB of RAM, and on your right is your average Galaxy S8 with 4. Both phones here are being powered by the same Exynos 8895, and both phones are using the faster UFS 2.1 storage. So I don't really expect there to be much of a difference here in the first lap. The only thing that may play a role is the higher 128GB storage that comes with the 6GB model, which in theory should have slightly faster read and write speeds. But then again, I don't know if it's going to make much of a difference here, as the faster read and write speeds may only be noticeable during larger file transfers. So really, what I'm interested in is not what happens here in the first lap, but what happens in the second lap, where the RAM management on both of these phones will be put to the test. And if you've seen any of our speed tests, whether it was with a Galaxy S7 or with the Galaxy S8, you know that Samsung phones aren't the best when it comes to keeping apps open and ready to go in the background. Time and time again, we've seen similarly spec'd Android phones with the same 4GB of RAM do a better job at keeping apps open. So what I want to see is if the additional 2GB or 50% of extra RAM is enough to solve Samsung's relatively weak RAM management. So we'll go ahead and fast forward to the second lap, which is what we've all been waiting to see anyways, where, like I suspected, the phones finish only 2 seconds apart, so below the 3-second margin of error, making that first lap pretty much a tie. Okay, so this is where things will get interesting. Will the 6GB of RAM be enough for the S8 Plus to keep all of the apps open? So far, so good, but the big test here is Subway Surfers, and yes, the 6GB packing S8 Plus keeps the game open as it does Lapsits, Photoshop, Snapchat, and Facebook, allowing it to run away with the lead, as the 4GB of RAM on the regular S8 just wasn't enough to keep all of the apps open. It had to reload both Subway Surfers and the Photoshop app here, allowing the beefed up S8 Plus to finish first with a total time of 2 minutes and 10 seconds, while the regular S8 with its 4GB of RAM just looks inadequate in comparison, with it having to reload most of the remaining apps, pushing it even further behind, with it finally completing the second lap with a total time of 2 minutes and 31 seconds, making the 6GB S8 Plus possibly the fastest Android smartphone in the world. Anyways, that is it for me in this video. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the very next episode.